Well, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is From the Sidelines. And as we do every time this week, we're going to talk about the round of NRL that's just been played. Tom, I'll get to you in a sec.
Oh.
Brian, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Stephen.
Tough week?
I'm fine, thank you, Stephen.
I noticed there isn't such a glare this week.
Yeah, I've noticed it too, not a shot. Apparently, Brian has to wear his hat to stop the glare from blinding us.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's in a bad mood. We've got to be careful. How are you, Tom?
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm alright.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You guys spent like an hour winding me up and then go, oh, Brian, how are you today? No.
Everybody hates Brian. Didn't you know that?
Spend an hour winding you up at all. You
Everybody hates
came in the
him.
front door in a bad mood.
20 minutes winding me up. My apologies. It's tough to get good help these days.
Thanks for watching the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we got 10 downloads on Spotify this week. How good is that? Thank you for everybody who's following us on Spotify.
Very good.
And we appreciate that. You can also watch us on Facebook and YouTube. And
Yeah, we're better than 10 though. We're like 10,000 good.
oh, we are. We are.
Yes, bring it your other 990,000, whatever it is.
Yeah.
All those 10 people need to invite another 100 and we'll
Yes.
be about where we should be. All right, continuing on.
Fox will be calling soon. Don't
Yeah,
you worry
don't
about
worry, yeah.
I've got my
They'll
phone.
love us.
They'll be calling
They
very
got your
soon.
bat phone? Excellent.
Yeah,
You mean
I've got it
you mean
here ready.
the TV station or Josh Adokar?
No. Well, he could be looking for some sponsorship as well, but we'll go.
He's got
go
time on his
later.
hands now.
Gentlemen, round 6 was just played. The years flashing by. Started out with a. Sorry to do this, Tom. Started out with the Melbourne Storm beating the Roosters 28-8.
Well, it's a fact. They did.
I was really happy about that game. That started my weekend off really well.
And then it was all downhill from there, right?
Now you know why everybody hates Brian.
Excuse me, I picked Melbourne.
Yeah, I
look,
think Melbourne too.
I mean, I think the Roosters started out pretty solid, but as soon as Radley went off, Melbourne scored 2 tries, and the Storm didn't drop the ball virtually at all night. The Roosters couldn't do anything but drop the ball, and if you don't hold the ball, well, you can't score any points, and that's as simple as what happened.
Do you want to talk about Radley?
How
Look,
dumb.
He's costing
It was
you.
dumb. Yep. Yep.
Every time he does something stupid, he's costing you
Absolutely.
the game.
And he's got to wake up to himself.
Can I ask again? And I know we harped on this last week, and I don't want to really harp on it too much tonight.
But you're going to be anyway.
But I'm going to. How did he only get $3,000
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
as a fine when the
I agree.
week before?
I agree. He's
it
got
was
a
a-
he's
it
got
was
a
a
he's got a rap
3-week
sheet, and it was careless. And
Someone's out for Kafusi, I can tell you now. But anyway.
Oh, no, Kafusi deserved it, but Radley deserved it too.
Well, but that's my point. It's got to balance.
in the end, it was a lazy shove by Radley. It wasn't a forceful like shoulder or anything like that. He just gave him a push at the end of the once he got rid of the ball, which is just a lazy, dumb thing to do.
Yeah, but
honestly.
that so all were. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean he definitely caught, and the Roosters fell apart from that point.
Absolutely, they did. Yeah,
I think he should have been given time though. I don't think he shouldn't have just been a fine.
Yeah,
right.
You're possibly right.
You can't hit, take out, push a player off the ball.
Yeah.
But Munster plays it up. Always.
Yeah.
Always plays it up.
Yeah, but
I'm
in
not
a lot of
denying
cases,
that, but
so
still.
so do a lot of players.
Oh, and
So-
how good was Nick Meaney?
Oh yeah,
Superb.
sensational.
Yeah.
Sensational.
You know, he was really good at the Dogs.
Yeah.
In a team that plays well to structure, he's exceptional.
And given his opportunity to replace Pappenhausen, he could go to a lot of clubs now and
Could
be a
be.
decent number one.
Pappenhausen, I think. Nick Meaney.
Oh,
Yeah,
He's
I've
been
been a fan. Look, when he came into
I
grade
agree.
at the Dogs,
Yep.
I was
Yep.
a huge fan.
Because he came from didn't he come from Newcastle? I think he came from
you're stretching my
Newcastle to the
memory
Dogs.
banks.
With
Stretching my
Newcastle
memory
to
banks
Dogs
a little bit.
to Melbourne.
But yeah, at the Dogs, he just wasn't given an opportunity. Every time he played first grade, he was close to the best player on the field.
But
But they drop him.
yeah.
But isn't it amazing what Bellamy can see
yeah.
in players?
It's
So everybody could see it except for whoever was at the Dogs.
Yeah.
We all would have taken him.
We all would have taken him. That's right. Melbourne, I thought South played them into form the week before, but they were even better this week.
They're going to be terrible next
Yeah,
week.
look. I think the Roosters handed them the game in a lot of respects.
They did, and they made them look good. But
Yeah.
geez, they looked good.
Well, they took their opportunities, is what the point is.
Yeah.
But yes, I was very disappointed in the Roosters. Just couldn't hold the ball, didn't play wet weather football, and just disappointing.
Acor Stadium on Good Friday. Rabbitohs 50, Dogs 16.
Latrell decided to play.
Latrell decided to play.
That's what happens when Latrell decides to play. If only he did it every game.
No, we don't want that.
You know what? Well, I do.
Of course you
I
do.
remember watching Melbourne and South and watching Latrell and thinking, Latrell, run the ball harder. He started to do. I know you guys have said he doesn't do a lot. The last couple of weeks he was doing even less than what he was doing before.
Yeah.
But he was exceptional the other night.
And that's right. And then about 30 minutes into that game, he just thought, I think I'll play.
Don't worry.
And then 20 minutes, he just blew him away.
Don't worry, Steve. His next milestone game is in 50 games. So you got that to look for.
I'm sorry, I must be a little bit thick. I don't understand.
Well, it was a 150 game milestone, and he played well.
Yeah.
So his next milestone is
200.
200.
So you've got 49 more bad games.
No, he's going to go on from there. He's going to go on from there.
What about the poor old Fox?
Yeah.
My goodness,
Honestly.
he's been playing exceptionally well.
He has.
Like, he's been on fire. Like, even with that silly looking haircut, flying down the sidelines.
Yeah.
Chance of origin redemption.
Oh, 100%. Now Fittler doesn't have to make any decision because he's not going to be there.
No.
Well, that's a shame. That is a real shame.
Yeah, and look, I mean that's where South then started to open him up down that sideline where Addo should have been.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he would have, because of his speed, he would have stopped a couple of those tries. Even once they made the break.
It was simple, smart play. There are a couple of games this weekend where the opposition saw a weakness and they just attacked it. So, like we're saying in the first game, as soon as Radley came off, as soon as Radley was off for that 10 minutes, they just targeted his position again and again and again.
And a good team will do that.
Yep. And that's what the Bunnies did with the Fox.
But they're scoring a lot of points down that right side.
Yeah, they are. So let me ask a question down that right side. If you were picking State of Origin today and you had to pick a centre.
Oh, that's a tough call, isn't it?
I know.
That's a tough
You've got Latrell.
Yep.
You've got Tommy.
Yep.
Or you've got
Campbell
Graham.
Well, I'd go Latrell and Tom, and that's.
And I think most people would.
Well, that's it. But in saying that, for the last few years, I've been saying Campbell Graham is he's deserving.
He came for Australia in the World Cup. I mean,
he's deserving, and it is a shame.
I mean, maybe you put him on the wing where you normally would have put Addo Carr.
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be unhappy about that, honestly.
He's
he's up there with the top 2 or 3 defensive centres in the game at the moment.
Yeah. So let's talk about the binning in the second half. The supposed hip drop. Yeah. Tom and I were watching it, and we said, "There's no way that's a hip drop."
Can I just say, like, I know they were cracking down on it, but if you're being carried along and you've got a bloke and you've grabbed him and you're being carried along and your body weight pulls him down, regardless of what angle that is not a hip drop.
No,
that is like he's holding on for dear life.
But there's a difference, and I understand where they're coming from, because they're saying once you lose your feet, once the tackler has his feet off the ground, that's where his weight comes down. So if you're being dragged along, that's different to being lifting your feet. And
he was dragged along though.
But the defenders, for a true hip drop, the defender's feet have to be facing the same direction as the ball runner.
They swing around. Really? It's not any kind of tackling.
Whereas that wasn't technically
that was really dodgy, and he was exonerated, and that was worthwhile because he shouldn't have been charged. It shouldn't have been anything.
I mean, look, at that point it was 26-6. I don't think they were going to win the game, but yeah. Yep. Anyway, good to see the Bunnies bouncing back from last week. All right, let's go to Country Bank Stadium. And I think this was a surprise to everyone, because I don't think anyone in our footy tipping competition picked the Dolphins. Dolphins 32, Cowboys 22.
Got a little tune for you. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. Hammer time. That's as good as I can.
Yeah. And I used to like that song back in the day.
It wasn't good.
And it wasn't good. I didn't even recognise it.
I'm glad you at least did the hammer time at the end,
Hammer
so we knew what
time.
you're talking about. Yeah,
It was.
He's been tremendous, hasn't he?
I keep waiting for him to fall over.
Well, you know, their harps were out. You know, I mean,
I know.
Gee, they were.
I actually think
good.
Osako's playing best I've seen him play in a long, long time.
For sure.
Yep. Tom Gilbert was exceptional.
Yeah.
He
had a point to prove too.
Oh,
against his old
so
team.
did Hammer.
Hammer, yeah.
So what is what is dear old Wayne putting in the water up there? Because
Can I? If you watch the Dolphins games, they've got a really simple game plan.
Oh yeah.
And they just do it again and again and again.
They play for each other.
And they look like they're having fun, don't they?
Like, the Cows put 22 points on them. And at no stage did it even look like they were going to be in that game.
Yep.
Because they went back to their simple strategy and it works.
And the interesting thing
it's not complicated.
No.
You also have to remember too, the assistant coach coached St Helens to 3 premierships or 2 premierships in the Super League. He's a quality coach in waiting.
Yep.
So you've got a technical, very, very good coach with a man manager.
Yep.
Who can just galvanise a team.
Yep.
And it's all working for them. And as much as I really don't, like Wayne Bennett per se, I've got to give him credit for he's used his skills brilliantly.
Well, you know what they didn't play the full 80 minutes because they were well ahead, and then they let the Cowboys come back into it, and then managed to win it at the end. But I'm shocked, and I think everybody is.
But
6 games in, they've won 4 games.
I didn't expect the Cowboys to go as well as they did last year. I didn't expect them to be losing games like this.
Against this opposition.
I know. Amazing. What are you doing? Don't steal my notes.
Making it a bit bigger so you can read it.
I can read my notes just fine. Just fine. Look at your own notes.
He's copying in an exam.
Oh my goodness! Now I can't make it go back to normal. What have you done?
Seriously.
Right.
All right, let's go on
Learn how to
to
use your computer.
Bluebet Stadium.
Bluebet Stadium. Never heard of it.
Penrith Panthers 44, Manly 12. Brian, I'm going to open the floor to you.
What do you want me to say?
Well, to quote Brian in Facebook, that was not good.
That was not good. Oh, look, there were talking about good teams going at weak spots. Oh, man alive.
You had a couple. You had a couple of weak spots.
Yeah, I had assumed that they would go Harper's side of the field. And they just went, today we're going to... Hey, that bloke, he hasn't started in first grade before.
Yeah, weeks.
Let's run at him. It was... What was it? We were about 2 minutes in. Penrith had made a break. Manly had defended it.
Yep.
We got a penalty. And big kick upfield. And was it Morgan Harper taps the ball and passes it to Cherry Evans, who just about drops it and gets smashed.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh...
Yeah.
No cohesion.
There was... I don't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, that. It was... They weren't... Manly were not in the game.
I've got to say, I remember in the Souths game, the Dogs had... Souths were hammering the Dogs line the early part of the game. The Dogs hadn't touched the ball. Tom Burgess dropped the ball. There was a scrum. From the scrum, they scored.
Yep.
And they ran 70 metres and scored. And I thought, oh, this is not good. This felt like it wasn't going to be their night.
Oh.
Manly did let Penrith almost the first set.
Yeah.
They made a break almost to the line.
I know.
And I thought the same thing. Manly's not here
2
tonight.
minutes in. Look, and anyone can make a break. And I thought, they've defended that well. That shouldn't have happened, but they defended well. But then at that point where Harper's just given it to Cherry Evans, who kind of went, football, smashed. I've just kind of, something wasn't right.
If ever I have
I
the
don't
chance
know.
to talk to a Manly player, I want to ask Brad Parker what he thought when the ball was kicked and he ran across the field and then booted the ball back to them.
There were so many things wrong in that game. And admittedly, your halves and your fullback can't win your games unless the forwards are going forward.
No.
And I thought, no Fisher Harris, this is the chance that we've got.
Yeah.
And no, Moses Leota, I don't know how many metres he made, but every time he touched the ball,
he's a monster.
He dragged 4 of them with him.
Yep.
And
it gets a run up. Man, he gets some speed into his
so,
run.
yeah, look, I've got nothing. Edwards was great. Cleary was great. I was really happy in the second half when we were leading 12-6, and then they let them score and it was 12-all. I've got nothing. I can't even say we got a second half win.
I thought at least in the second half
No. Penrith took their foot off.
Yeah.
But
you mean they played like a normal football team?
They played like they were 40-odd points in front and couldn't have cared less.
Can I just say, what's that, 70... Well, they beat 53, then 44. That's more than 70. That's not 97 points in their last 2 games.
Yep.
And I think it's 74 points in a 60-minute period that they put on. When they decide to turn it on, man, they turn it on.
Well, we all thought they'd fade this year with the.
They've made an adjustment, haven't they? I mean, even Mitch Kenny's looking solid.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Anyway, we've got no depth and no edge defence.
And no Tommy, because he was a passenger.
Oh,
yeah.
He was just a passenger.
Back spasms.
Needled up at half time, and at least
Seriously.
he played better in the second half.
I
But,
got him
my
off.
goodness. I know. Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing that frustrates me. KO Weeks is a fullback. They play him at 5'8".
Yeah.
Injuries in the game didn't help because we've got no depth, as is evidenced.
Yeah.
And then having 2 players come off in the first half kind of cruelled it. But when you've got a player like Tom and you're going premier player and he's hobbling around, I think he touched the ball 3 times in the first half. As a coach, don't you go, we're not risking this?
Yeah. When you were so far gone at half time, I was surprised they put him. You're not going to come back against Penrith at 32-0 or whatever it was. It was dumb to even think about putting him back on.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, if you didn't have Jake, it would have been 70.
I think they missed 43 tackles. Jake played 80 minutes and missed none. He's phenomenal. I think he's played every minute of football this year. We've got 2 extra time games, and Jake has missed, I think, 3 tackles all season.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
What a machine!
Suncorp Stadium, where the Raiders beat the undefeated Broncos 20-14.
Wow. I think the Broncos came entitled. I think they thought they were just going to go through the motions. I think the Broncos.
They played like that
feeling
too.
Like that
I don't know.
I thought they did.
I disagree. Canberra they're one of those teams that can drag you down to their level, and they'll kick mud in your face.
Yeah.
And you want to kick mud back. And that's what they did to the Bronx. They started gritty and determined. They kicked some mud, and then the Broncos had no response back to that. They tried to do the same. That was not the same Broncos team that we've been seeing all year.
They unleashed Corey Horsburgh.
And Jared Croker.
Yeah. He was
heard,
good. His defence was terrific.
Can I say I heard Willie Mason during the week talking about Jared Croker. Apart from, I'll clean up the language and give you a roundabout kind of quote. And he said Jared Croker is the perfect example for every young kid out there playing football.
Yeah.
Because he could have given it away with injuries. When he's come back uninjured and they've chucked him in reserve grade, as club captain, they put him in reserve grade. He didn't have a dummy spit. He didn't stop. He said, I'm going to give back to the club that gave me the chance. And now here he is back in first grade again.
And everyone's hoping he gets his 300.
Absolutely.
Yep. And so he is the example. He's saying, kids are 15, 16, they don't get picked in whatever rep side, they have a dummy spit and they go to another club.
Yeah.
He's the example of what we should be looking for.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There you go.
Corey Horsburgh was awesome, wasn't he?
He was got a bit of interesting mongrel in him,
Oh,
doesn't he?
yeah, he does. Yeah, it's like, he's on a leash before he gets to the ground, and they just unclip him and let him go. He's funny.
He's a Queenslander too.
Well,
So.
Broncos back to the field. So, I think they had their chances to win this
They
game.
did. I said, the Raiders just made them get gritty, dirty. So what do we think? Like, there was an incident in that game, Steve, and I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Oh, okay.
So, we've got an incident in the game where bomb goes up. Jordan Rapana takes the ball, falling, gets cleaned up by Marty Tapau. An accidental knee, fair on the scon. The ref calls play on. Rapana obviously drops the ball, concussed, been hit in the head. And then in the ensuing break, the bunker overrules and they go, no, penalty. Your thoughts?
My thoughts is it's a load of rubbish.
Load of rubbish.
It was an accident, and if you'd watched the video once, you can see it's an accident. Now I know we're trying to protect players, we're trying to protect heads and all that sort of stuff.
I knew we would be wrong. I just didn't give you this wrong.
So technically, it's contact with the head.
It's contact with the head,
and they've got to penalise it. But in the end, Tapau didn't deserve any kind of internal penalty.
Yeah. Hang on.
No,
if you are hitting the ball up, and somebody goes a little bit high, innocuous. Doesn't matter. It's a penalty. Accidental. Doesn't matter. It's a penalty. This was, you know what? Accidental. But he's hit him in the head. It's a penalty. There's no. It's not even. It's not even open for discussion.
No. Correct.
He got hit in the head. It's a penalty.
But
unfortunately, at that time in the game, it was absolutely horrendous.
Should have nothing to answer for because
he was
in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He shouldn't have been binned, but it should have been a penalty because he got him in the head.
Absolutely.
You get hit in the scon, you get a penalty. That's the way it goes.
Brian, I'm scared.
Why?
Because we agreed.
Yeah, but then you're just both wrong, so it doesn't matter.
All right. Anyway,
I don't agree it was a penalty. I think it was an accident, pure and simple.
I can't wait.
He tipped the Broncos, obviously.
I can't wait till little Lachlan Ilias gets sconed in the head, and he's screaming for the bloke to get sent off. And it's like, but it was just an accident. He just you touched him. That's wrong. Because you'll be screaming for it if he gets hit in the head, even if it's accidentally.
Let me tell you, don't touch Lockie. Okay, let's go to, well, I don't know.
Titans Dragons.
Yeah, do we want to?
Well,
Titans 20, Dragons 18. Barry, and I appreciate you volunteering to be the knock-on effect cup ambassador by giving us the scores, and please keep it up. But he would be disappointed.
The little blokes ran right. Campbell and Philip Sammy just tore him apart.
Yeah, Sammy was on fire.
Sammy was great. Campbell was great. It was when he came on and they started the little trick run-around plays that they got ahead. But the Dragons, you can't give away stupid penalties and have blokes sent to the bin for stupidity. Ask Tom, because his team did the same thing. You lose. That's it. It's as simple as that.
And Ben Hunt tries his heart out every single week, you know.
Ben Hunt is the only reason that I think Griffin's still there at the moment.
Yeah. Ben Hunt's the only reason the Dragons aren't sitting dead last.
Yeah.
All right,
so
that's all.
Are we saying new coach for the Dragons? Is he done?
Well, who do you put in his place? And
well, I heard today they were interviewing Jason Riles, Des Hasler, and someone else. Slipped my mind. So
Jason Riles technically still has a contract with the Roosters, and they don't like to let him go. But they did let Adam O'Brien go.
They'll let him go. I'm sure.
Even if they don't, Hook can't last longer than this year.
No, I think
Desi would be an interesting choice.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Des at the Dragons.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Hey, Barry, how would you feel about Des at the Dragons? Actually, Barry did say to me a while ago that he would prefer not to have a Dragons person.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah. Oh. He's over the Dragons thing.
Well, Des and the board would be an interesting combination.
Yes, it would be. Would be. So, what do you think of the Titans? Were we impressed with them, or
not really?
Just doing their stuff.
The Titans have some exciting football in them.
Yes.
They just don't do it often enough, and they don't defend well.
Yeah. You know, they're a bit like the Dolphins. I'm just waiting for them to fall over.
Yeah.
But they're plugging away.
And they were missing Brisbane and Brimson and missing Foran.
Yep.
I think somebody else, but they did amazingly well.
McDonald Jones Stadium, where the Newcastle Knights 34 beat the Warriors 24. I thought the Warriors were coming back to get them.
I really enjoyed this game. I was looking forward to this game too because both teams have shown huge resilience in the last few weeks, and I thought this would be a mouth-watering game, and it didn't disappoint. I thought it was terrific.
The Knights' defence was great, but the Warriors can't keep giving away big points to start with.
No.
Well, they were 18-0 against the Sharks and came back.
Yep.
And 22-6 down, you can't keep giving away 18-point leads.
No.
So I still don't rate the Warriors. I know everybody was on them a week ago, but no.
So do you rate the Knights then?
No.
Okay.
Gee, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to Dom Young next year. He's an exciting young player.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, the Roosters will develop him.
He probably won't need
He'll
to.
play Roosters football.
He's already playing well enough now.
Goodness gracious me.
Fantastic.
Acor Stadium, where the Parramatta Eels 28 beat the Tigers 22, and I felt for the Tigers.
Oh, absolutely. They finally showed a bit of heart, a bit of football. It was great.
And they were coming to get them, except at the dropout.
Dewey does his ACL. That's just tragic.
Well, no, I was thinking about when
Charlie Staines
dropped the ball.
Well, I tell you, it's Mitch Moses and Steve, if you listen, when he's on, and he was on.
He was on.
Because I don't think there was a single stat that Parramatta led except for the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes of pain. Naden, collarbone.
Yeah.
Dewey, knee. Appy taking his first kick in 6 years from the sideline. And then Staines dropped the ball. 5 minutes and the Tigers blew it.
That was the end.
They were coming to get him.
That was the turning point. That was Staines. Staines missed that ball because any
the
opportunity
air
they
just
had
went
to
out of
score was gone. I thought Appy was tremendous though.
Oh, he was
by
great.
comparison to the way he's been playing lately.
Appy was exceptional.
Yeah.
But I really feel, and I mean, when you lose Dewey, you're not just losing an average player. You're losing one of your stars.
Of your best.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and just.
What about Junior Tupou?
Yeah.
That winger, he's tremendous. He's the player of the future.
He's got a bit of talent, that kid.
He does.
No, he'll be on the other wing for the Roosters. Don't worry.
It's Tupou and Tupou.
Well, it'll be Tupou and Young.
Well, then
now
we'll
they're
just
trying to
replace
keep
one
Tupou
Tupou
now.
with another one.
Hey, Brian,
There you go.
how all of a sudden they're now finding money for Tupou with Young coming in as well.
That's right, Suolaki
And we've still
not
got
for another 2 years.
we've still got to find money for Jared for one more year too. So,
Don't worry, you will.
You will.
Far out.
All right, Tigers 0-6.
Yep.
Hey, I have something in common with the Tigers, and we'll talk about Supercoach later.
All right, ladder.
I was obviously picking the Tigers team. Who's doing the ladder?
Me.
His team's up.
Okay.
Well,
Broncos.
my team's up, but okay.
His team is ahead of your team.
That's true.
So despite a loss this week, the Broncos are still ahead on 10 points. Panthers and Storm and Dolphins make out the 4 on 8 points. Warriors and Titans and Roosters also on 8 points. And bringing up the end of the bottom of the 8 are the Knights on 7. The Sea Eagles in 9th on 7. The Rabbitohs on 10th in 6. The Sharks, the Dragons and the Bulldogs on 6. The Eels, Cowboys and Raiders on 4. And the West Tigers, unfortunately, still winless. But they do get a bye this week.
If only we'd won that game, we would be second.
I've got a question about that.
What's that?
Yeah.
About buys.
Yes, good. See you later.
I'm just curious. I heard some discussion about it today, or yesterday, I think. I'm wondering what the impact would be if we just didn't give 2 points for a buy.
Nothing. They all got the same amount of buys.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. But just the interest it might have in the ladder. Because if you look at it, somebody was saying that if the Panthers didn't have a buy, they would actually be in 6th position.
Yeah, but eventually it will balance itself up, and they'll end up where they would end up anyway.
Oh, I know that will. But would it give a bit more interest to not provide 2 points for the buy? I just wonder.
I don't know.
Because Broncos, Panthers, Dolphins,
Manly.
Warriors have not had a buy yet in that top 5.
All right.
And if you take away the Panthers 2 points, they drop way down to 6th, 7th, something like that. So might even be 9th, to be honest.
All right.
Just interesting.
Yeah, okay, moving along because we are running out of time. Thursday night, Suncorp Stadium, Dolphins and the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Gentlemen, big test for the Bunnies. Oh, well, hey, you know what? You say that, Brian, but did you pick them to beat the Cowboys?
The Dolphins.
Oh, should have.
Yeah, well, you should have.
I'm not picking them to beat the Bunnies either. Bromwich and Robert Jennings are back. AJ's back on the wing. You may lose Thompson because he's being monitored. And the Dolphins won't have any answer. Well, it depends. Like, is Latrell going to play? Or is Latrell going to sit on the sidelines like he usually does?
He's going to play. He's playing. They're all playing in front of Wayne, Uncle Wayne. They'll put it on. Tom?
I want to go the Dolphins, but I'll have to reluctantly choose the Rabbitohs.
I'll go Bunnies as well.
Just go who you want to go. Like, let's face it. Like, our footy tipping sucks. Yeah, next.
Sharks and Sydney Roosters at PointsBet Stadium.
This is actually a tough game.
Yeah.
So Wade Graham and Kafusi are in, and Tony Rudolph and Dale Finucane are both out.
Yep.
So swap for swap, and Teddy's back, and Lodge.
Yeah, Lodge is back. That's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
Look, the Roosters will be hurting. They'll be embarrassed from last week's performance. Sharks are tough at home, but we've got a good record against the Sharks at home. I'll be going the Roosters.
I'm going Sharks.
I'm going Sharks.
Four Pines Park, Manly Sea Eagles and the Melbourne Storm.
This is your chance to bounce back, but I'm sorry, I think the Storm will win.
Can I just say, we've actually got a surprisingly good record against Melbourne. Penrith, we haven't beaten them in like 6 years. Melbourne, a bit of a better record. Look, I'm concerned that Garrick's out, and we've still got Harper in the
concussion?
team. Yeah. I'm concerned Garrick's out. We've still got Harper in the team. Is Tom going to be fit?
Call it.
This young front rower Aaron just making his debut for the club. But look, on the plus side, Meany's out.
Yep.
So
is he?
Yeah.
Concussion.
Yeah. So Munster's going to fullback.
Don't tell me Pappenhausen's back.
No, Munster's going to fullback and Pizzette's in. So
because he played really poorly last year when he was fullback, didn't he?
And Pizzette's a good player.
I'm going the Eagles, baby, at home. Go the Eagles! Don't you let me down. You
won't get within 30 of them.
We will put 30 on them. That's why.
Storm for me.
Yep.
Warriors in North Queensland at Mount Smart on Saturday.
Warriors only because it's at home.
No Egan, no Martin. Walker starting at 6. With the Cows, I've got Nanai and Tuolangi back. I'm on the Cows.
Yeah, sorry, I'll change my tip.
I'm on the Cows as well.
Yeah.
McDonald Jones Stadium, Newcastle Knights and the Penrith Panthers.
Panthers the only unchanged team this week, and Brayley's out. Panthers.
Yeah. All right, Seabus Super Stadium, Titans and the Broncos.
I reckon this will be close.
Yes, but I think the Broncos will win.
I'm going Titans in an upset.
Okay.
Sexton's out, Foran's back, and Flegler's out. So that gives them I think that they need their big men on the field. And no Flegler, no.
Well, it'll be a decision. It'll be interesting to see whether the Broncos fold or whether they just see that as a blip last week. So I'm still going the Broncos.
I'm going Broncos.
They're going to fold. Like
GIO Stadium, Raiders and the Dragons.
Whiten, Tapani, and Kotrick all back.
So it's the Raiders.
Yeah,
the Raiders.
And Ravalaра's out. Good luck.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Parramatta Eels on Sunday evening in Combank Stadium against the Dogs.
I'm going Dogs.
No, the Eels will win.
The Eels will win.
Paulo.
They're not playing well. But...
They're not. Paulo.
Seriously, you look at Steve fair in the eye and say...
Steve, my old mate. I know Junior Paulo's back.
And Janelle, by the way. You're talking about
Janelle. Steve and Janelle, you poor, misguided Parramatta supporters. I know that Junior Paulo's back, but the Dogs had no forwards last week, and this week they get Tavita Pengai Jr. and Kikau and Fatila Marana back. They're going to take it to you, and you only just got over the Tigers. Last place Tigers.
Oh, dear.
And besides that, what's his name? That Mitchell Moses bloke doesn't have 2 good games in a row.
You are going to get hate mail.
Yeah.
Absolute hate mail this week.
Oh, but there's no Fox. Oh.
There's no Fox. All right, Tom?
Oh, yeah, I'm going the Eels.
Eels for me as well.
The Tigers have a bye.
We've got your back. Eels. And the Tigers have a bye. Okay, very quickly, we're going to have to do the
Which one?
Footy tips.
Footy tips, you do those?
I will, as soon as it opens up. Thank you very much. And it is led by... Bradley on 72, Keenaz on 66, Y Young Rabbitohs, Bunnies are up there on 60, St Mick on 58, Isado on 58, and McRoosters on 58, and then all of us are taking up the rear.
Wow.
Brian, you've dropped behind me, by the way. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, I had a bit of a shocker.
You did have a shocker.
Mate, tell me, what have you got in common with the West Tigers, Steve?
We are 6-0.
In Fantasy League, we've got Hayden with the Immortals, Fred Saints, Wall, good on your Wall. Grinner's in 3rd. I've actually dropped to 4th because I had a massive loss. Heinz Beans, Scotty, Robbie's Randoms, and Rory won. That brings up your top 8, and then we've got these losers all the way down the bottom.
I'm just above you. Because I've actually won a couple of games.
You know what? You've won a game.
I've won a couple of games.
I haven't. Oh, you've won a couple.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Steve's dead last, even against little Zach, who's also SS
I'm having
Bunnies.
the worst. Like, I picked Turbo, and he plays a game where he gets, 13 points or something, against Cleary, who gets 250.
I had them both, but it didn't help me.
Goodness sake. I think it's rigged, I'll be honest with you. I think it's rigged.
Yeah, because Turbo really had didn't have back spasms.
No, he did. He just knew I was backing him. Anything intelligent you won the show with?
Yeah, we will beat the Storm by 30.
He makes my point every time, doesn't he? Tom?
Yeah. No. Nothing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Look, just to let you all know that we will be putting the show on hiatus for the next couple of weeks because I'm going away and these guys just can't do it without me, which is really sad for them. But
no, we can't sit together without Steve.
Yeah, they need me to keep the peace.
Yes.
But hopefully, hint, hint, they will actually do something while I'm away and keep the flow going. You might want to do your own little personalised, here's my tips for the week or something like that. Wouldn't that be interesting for you two?
Oh, don't worry. I'll be doing something and it'll be totally rubbishing all those teams that I don't like, which is all of them except for Manly.
So, we will be back in a couple of weeks. So, please, no crying, no tears, no curling up in the fetal position in the corner. All that sort of
crying
stuff.
and tears from me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I want to do the show, but
can
I'm
you curl up in the
technologically
fetal position in Italy? You might have to.
I might have to. No, I won't. Well, I will have to. Well, the next week we play the Panthers, so that might still happen.
Yeah. Well, I'm inept at technology. Otherwise, I'd take it over.
Okay. Well, this is going for too long. So, okay. Thank you for watching. You're with Tom, Brian, and Steve, and this is from the Sidelines. As we put the show on Facebook, on YouTube, on Spotify. We had 10 downloads on Spotify, as I said earlier. So, please follow us. Please share this show, and we're trying to get the viewing up as high as possible. So we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.
See you.
Wow.